Hey everyone, welcome to this 21st episode of Coffee with Cosmos DB series. We had back-to-back session in a week without a break. If you have missed to join the last time episode, you can watch the recording in the playlist under Coffee with Cosmos DB series. If you would like to know more about a particular topic or a feature, please ask in the chat so that we can take it up and discuss later. If you're joining this live session for the first time, this series is all about spreading the knowledge on Azure Cosmos DB by the experts to the community. So please make sure to subscribe the channel and share with the community members who are looking to learn more about Azure Cosmos DB. If you're interested to present or have any feedback, please reach out to me. And thanks for all the feedback so far. Uh, without without further delay, let me introduce our guest for today. Today we have Sudhanshu from the product management team. Let me add him to
Hey,
the stage. Hi, Sudhanshu.
hey
Uh,
Sajid.
it's his first time appearance in the channel in this series. So uh, uh, yeah, let's hear from him. You can go ahead and introduce yourself, Sudhanshu.
Absolutely. Thanks, Sajid. First of all, thanks for inviting me to the show, Sajid. Everyone, my name is Sudhanshu Vishodhya. I'm a product manager with the Azure Cosmos DB for MongoDB team at Microsoft. I'm based out of India.
All right. I think today's topic is very relevant to customers and also for developers. We had a lot of exciting announcements at Ignite, out of which, like, the hottest topic was the announcement of Cosmos DB for MongoDB vCore. And today's topic is around one of the features that we announced. It's a free tier for MongoDB vCore. And Sudhanshu will walking us through the features and the aspects of the free tier. Go ahead, Sudhanshu.
Absolutely. Let me share my screen quickly. Yeah. So, what is Azure Cosmos DB for Cosmos DB for MongoDB vCore free tier? Before we dig deeper into what a free tier offering on MongoDB vCore is, it's always good to have a little overview about like what a MongoDB offering on Azure Cosmos DB is. So it's just like using Azure Cosmos DB as if it were a Mongo database. It is compatible with the applications, with the tooling, and the drivers that are supported by the native Mongo database. Database. So for MongoDB also there are two offerings within Azure Cosmos DB. One is MongoDB vCore, and other one is MongoDB RU-based offering, right? And RU-based offering is there in the market from quite some time, wherein you are charged based on the request units that you consume, right? With the vCore offering, we just tried to simplify the offering by introducing something similar to what the native MongoDB users are already familiar with. It is as simple as running Mongo database on IS. Here you are charged based on the number of vCores and the storage that you provision, just like any other service. By introducing free tier on MongoDB vCore, we are taking a step forward uh, by putting the developers first, allowing them to explore and try out our product capabilities by removing the initial cost barrier, thus making this service more accessible to the developer community and for the customers who are a little budget conscious. It makes it easy for them to develop, to test the applications, and even run small scale workloads in production. Moving next, what does a free tier has to offer? So if you look at the screen, there are I've listed quite a few benefits that we get out of a free tier on MongoDB vCore. The best one is, of course, it gives you an opportunity to explore the product at zero cost. You don't have to it's not like other products wherein you have to before signing up for the product you have to provide your credit card details and all, right? So it's nothing like that. When we say free tier, it's literally free for our customers. So anyone with a valid Azure subscription can provision an Azure Cosmos DB for MongoDB vCore cluster with us. Effortless onboarding experience. For this, I'll be walking you through how a cluster can be provisioned and what exactly the end users needs to do to provision a free tier cluster on free tier cluster on Azure Cosmos DB, right? Although it's as simple as like selecting a simple checkbox for free tier, and that is it what you are supposed to do. We also ensure that we do not restrict our users or customers in terms of the commands parity when we compare the commands and the operators that we get with the paid tier and the commands and features that are available with a free tier. We do not want it to basically keep them separated. We wanted them to be consistent, and for the same reason, we ensure that we get the same parity whether you are on a paid tier or you are using a free tier. We have also introduced a general storage, one of the best in market today, which is 32 GB, which is more than sufficient for any users. If you are a small scale business, it is sufficient for you to like get started with your application and deploy your application in production. What if now the question arises? What if you outgrow this 32 GB space and the and the resources that are available with the free tier, they are no longer sufficient, or they are no longer performant enough to keep up with your workload. So in that case, we also offer you a seamless upgrade path. I'll show that also to you during when I take you to the Azure Cosmos DB portal. And at last, the best feature of all. This feature is free for the lifetime. It's not like once you provision a MongoDB free tier cluster with us, it will be available for only 2 months or 6 months. It will be available to you throughout the lifetime. I'll quickly stop sharing now and take you to the Azure portal. Okay, so we are on the Azure portal now. To provision a free tier Azure Cosmos DB for MongoDB vCore free tier cluster, what you need to do is you just need to go to the marketplace. You have to search for Azure Cosmos DB for MongoDB vCore. Select the service and then just click on create. As soon as you click on create, you need to provide your subscription details and the resource group where you want the service to be provisioned. You have to provide the cluster name. For example, let me name it like sample free tier MongoDB, right? And so this is the option that you get if you want to provision. If you are interested in provisioning a free tier cluster, either you can select free tier from here, right? As soon as you click on this, you see that the cost immediately becomes zero. And the second thing that you can do is you can go to the location and see what all regions you can opt for. So right now, this service is available in 3 regions: East US, West Europe, and Southeast Asia. So you can choose the region as per your requirement, such that the latency between your application and the database is minimum, and you can provide your admin username, password details here, and just click on review and create. One thing to note here is when you go to the networking tab, we do not with free tier you do not get the private endpoint. the private endpoint connectivity. So you just get the public access through this. So I have a server already provisioned in advance that we can go to. So it will take around a minute or a minute and a half for the service to get provisioned. Once it is provisioned, this is how it will look. So on the overview tab, you see the default chart that we get with a free tier account is one. You get a 32 GB disk here, and this I have provisioned this server in the East US, and this is on the latest. This supports the latest MongoDB version available on Azure today. So now let me take you to the scale part where that is what you would be using if you want to upgrade yourself to if you want to upgrade yourself to any of the paid tier. So here you are getting an option, right? So right now by default, since we have started with a free tier, it is showing the cluster tier as free tier to us. But once I have made up my mind, or if for example the workload on my cluster has already increased and I want to upgrade myself to any of the paid tiers, so I get the different options here, right? We have the paid tier starts from M25 and it goes up to M80 here, right? M25 being the burstable tier which got introduced last month, part of Ignite. So you can choose any of these offerings. It's not like you can upgrade only to M25 or M30 initially. Even if you want to upgrade directly to M50 based on your workload, you can select for M50 and just click on save. If you want to enable high availability. One thing to note here is the high availability and the storage is coming as disabled, right? That is because the disk size supported with the free tier account is 32 GB initially, right? So this is a two-step operation basically. So if you want to upgrade yourself to M50, you'll have to first scale up the compute, and once your compute is scaled, then you can scale your storage also to whatever disk size you are looking for from the list of supported disk, and that will also allow. Then it will also allow you to enable high availability if that is what you want. Okay. So you just click on save, and by clicking on save, the update operation will get triggered. It will take some time to upgrade. So that is how simple it is. The PowerPoint presentation again.
Sudhanshu, by the time we can take up one question, there's a question like when this
Mhm.
service or the free tier will be available in all regions.
So that is definitely in plans, like it is in roadmap, but this is something that we are still discussing what all regions to prioritize next. So based on the customer's feedback, we will pick up the next regions that can be supported for free.
Got it? Okay, thanks.
Yeah. So next, right? So another thing that will come to our mind is like, are there any restrictions when we compare the free tier to the paid tier? Then yes, the answer is yes. There are a few restrictions that we must be aware of when we provision a free tier. The first thing to keep in mind is like this is a free tier. This is not, we should not confuse it with a free trial, right? So if you want to provision a free tier cluster, Azure subscription is a must, right? Unlike free trial, wherein you can just go ahead and create a free cluster for yourself, right, without even signing up for Azure account. So second is the services, like I said, this service is currently available in only three regions: East US, West Europe, and Southeast Asia. And on top of that, we are just allowing, as of today, we are allowing only one free tier account per region in a subscription. Okay, and there are some high-end features like high availability, Azure Active Directory integration, and the diagnostic logging. So these features are currently not supported with free tier. If you want to use any of these features, you'll have to start with a paid tier cluster with us. Any queries?
No, there are no questions from the audience, but I do have one question, right? Since you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
the limitations,
Yeah.
how many free tier clusters as a user I can create? Is there a limit?
On free tier clusters.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, yes. So, like I said, as of today, we can create one free tier cluster per region, and since we have like since free tier is currently supported in three regions, so in a subscription, you can create up to three free tier accounts, one in each region.
got it. Okay,
Sanjeev.
yeah, all right. And you talked about upgrading from a free tier to a paid tier,
Mhm. So
and
upgrading. Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
So upgrading from a paid tier, from a free tier to a paid tier is pretty simple. So when you start small, for example, you start with like you feel like 32 GB storage is sufficient, and whatever common compute that is being offered part of the free tier offering, if that is sufficient, as long it is sufficient for your workload, it's good. But the moment you start to feel that the resources are no longer sufficient to handle my workload, you can always go to the scale tab or to the scale blade on the Azure portal, and you can trigger a scale from the free tier to any of the paid tiers, starting from M25.
Got it. Okay,
Yeah. So M25 is another great offering, and that is also introduced. That also got introduced part of Ignite only, other than the free tier, right? It also got. I think we announced that also during Ignite, and that is just another option if you want to like if you are budget conscious and if you do not want to spend a lot of money, you can start small with M25 tier as well.
got it.
Yeah.
There is another question. I think this is something from the demo. Is there a way to
Mhm.
increase the storage as well?
Yes, of course, we can scale the storage as well. Let me take you to the portal screen again. Yeah. So if you go to the scale tab, right? So right now this operation is still going on. The upgrade operation is still going on. So initially, what happens is with free tier, since there is a restriction on storage, we can have maximum up to 32 GB storage only. So if you want to scale from 32 GB, if you want any disk larger than 32 GB, in that case, you can select once this operation completes, right? Once your compute is scaled, you cannot scale both your compute and storage at the same time. That is one restriction, right? So you,
Okay,
you need to you need to scale your compute first. Once you are already scaled from M25 to sorry from free tier to M50 or any other tier, right? So once that is done, you can always go to the storage tab and you can opt for the disk that you would like to have and click on save again.
okay,
Okay. So this operation is taking a little longer to complete because we opted for a 8 vCore machine here. So this might take some time to provision.
all right. And how does the pricing works? Like if someone upgrades from free tier to a another tier,
Mhm.
right, M50 tier, and if they still
Yeah.
want to switch back to free tier, they have to create a new free tier account. Is it?
Yes. So if you are on free tier and you upgraded yourself to any of the paid tiers, and now you want to switch back to the free tier, so that is something which is not supported today, mostly because of disk restrictions. So, for example, if you have already scaled part of your upgrade to the paid tier, if you already scaled your storage from 32 GB to 64 GB or 128 or something, right? In that case, since you have already scaled and since the maximum storage available with free tier is still 32 GB, we cannot like scale you down.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
Okay, so that is one. Another thing is another question that I get from a lot of customers around scaling is like, what if when I scale from a free tier to a paid tier, right? What happens to the data that I have, right? Do I lose that data, or do I need to like create a separate cluster, or do I have to like migrate that data manually from the free tier server to the paid tier server? So nothing of that sort needs to be done. Everything is taken care of by the service. You just have to select the cluster tier of your choice and click on save. That is it, right? In the
Okay.
background, we will manage your data. We will manage your data. You won't lose your data. Your data as is from free tier will be migrated to M50 or whatever of the paid tier we have, and none of your database configurations that you have configured on a free tier, they will also remain unchanged, including your firewall rules.
Got it. Okay.
There are no restrictions on metrics, and although there are like diagnostic logs are not allowed, but you can still go to metrics and look at like how my cluster is performing, what is the CPU utilization, memory utilization, all of that, right? The workbooks and all, rest all other features are at par with, like, they are not blocked. Everything you can enable, like everything is enabled. You can try out any of these features.
Got it. Okay. Do you have anything else to cover, or?
On the free tier side, we don't have much. This is what like there is one more question that I generally get from customers. Like, free tier is one of the option that the customers can use if they want to, like, if they have a small workload, or if they want to do a quick POC
Mhm.
with the product, right, to see whether this fits their requirement or not, right? So one other question that I got from a few of the customers is like, is there, other than provisioning a free tier account, do we have any other options also to that we can use to basically start for free
Yeah.
with Azure Cosmos, at least for Mongo vCore, right? With Mongo Argue, we do have free trial option also available, but with Mongo vCore, we don't have free trial available supported as of today. But for such customers, they can use the $200 that Azure offers for the new customers, right? So
Hmm.
they can sign up for Azure subscription, and they get $200 there, and they can use that to provision a free tier.
Got it. Okay. And is there a support for serverless as well? I know that we usually recommend to the customers on RU to use serverless for like development purposes. So since we don't
Mhm.
have it on the Mongo vCore side, are there any plans for the free tier?
For No, I don't think so. Like, we won't be introducing serverless anytime soon for free.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all we had from the audience as questions and also from my side. I know it's a small topic, but it's very useful to customers and also for developers who want to get started with Mongo vCore. But do you have any other suggestions or any takeaways to the audience as a final thought?
So if anyone wants to like start with to get start with Mongo free tier, we have the documentation available. We can share the list of, like, I can share the list of documents with you, the blog post and all that can be shared with our viewers, and otherwise they can always go to ak.ms and ak.ms/MongoDB free tier
Okay.
to know more.
All right. Thanks, Sudhanshu. Thanks a lot for sharing these valuable insights and also the links. And thanks for joining the session as well, and audience who asked those questions. Thanks again. And with that, we have come to the end of this episode. Tomorrow, we have a special episode covering the Ignite announcements on Cosmos DB. It will be done by Sarnya. So make sure to join that session to catch up all the announcement that we made at Ignite. With that, we will end this episode here. Thanks again, Sudhanshu.
Thank you, Sajid. Have a great day. Bye bye.